Middletown, Ohio, has been spoken of as a typical American city. Lying along the Great Miami River between Dayton and Cincinnati, Middletown rose to prominence at the beginning of the 20th century with the industrialization of the city. The rise of the American Rolling Mill Company brought people and jobs to the small city. By the 1950s, the size of the city had risen to almost 42,000 people. Today, however, Middletown is seen as a city on the decline. Downtown appears quiet in comparison to the hustle and bustle of the early 20th century. The city has been looking at ways to revitalize downtown and bring people back to the traditional urban core of the city. When considering the projects for the future, it is important to look back at past projects and see what their effects have been on the city. The question remains, what have been the effects of these projects on the downtown commercial district? Middletown officially became a city in 1886. Its location along the Miami and Erie Canal was appealing to many people and businesses at the time. Living along the canal provided many economic opportunities for the city of Middletown. Goods as well as people could be transported from Toledo, Ohio, along Lake Erie, all the way to Cincinnati. Its location allowed new industries to choose to base in Middletown, such as the American Rolling Steel Company, which located in Middletown in 1901. Alongside steel, Middletown became known for its paper and tobacco industry. One of the tobacco companies in town was Sorg Tobacco. Sorg Tobacco's owner, Paul Sorg, built his mansion along historic Main Street. He also was a catalyst for downtown as he founded the Sorg Opera House in 1891. This theater was center to the cultural center of downtown, which was beginning to grow. Streetcars also went up and down Central Avenue. As time progressed, Middletown grew to its heights in the mid-1920s. The 1920s saw Middletown have a thriving downtown. Stores lined Central Avenue as people began to shop. It wasn't just shopping that attracted people to downtown. In the 1920s, Middletown saw a rise in its financial district, with the completion of a 7-story First National Bank. The Roaring Twenties did not last forever, though. The Great Depression hit, and was followed by World War II. Many men from Middletown decided to go to war. Upon the return of the servicemen from the conflict, they began to search for their own American dream. The GI Bill allowed them to purchase homes on the urban fringes of the city. The auto industry provided inexpensive cars that everyone could enjoy. This, coupled with the completion of I-75 on the eastern edge of the city in the 1960s, drew many residents eastward. Town Center Mall also began construction after the completion of I-75. This worried city planners at the time. In 1963, they completed the city's first master plan, outlining a new strategy for downtown. This strategy included separation of uses and removal of vehicles from the space. The outcome was a new Civic Center Mart, or downtown Middletown Mall concept. The enclosure would be confined to the north by Manchester Avenue, to the east by Verity Parkway, to the west by Main Street, and to the south by First Avenue. Funding was secured through local as well as HUD federal funds. The project also was unique as it proposed a new area of housing directly adjacent to Verity Parkway. The master plan outlined the goals for the revitalization of the downtown core. This project would create separation of vehicular and pedestrian circulation with the elimination of numerous crosswalks. It would provide provisions for covered walks for protection against rain and sun, concentration of retail facilities to reduce walking distances to a minimum, provisions for ample parking, located within short distances of nearby stores, adequately accessed through to thoroughfares which connect downtown with community residential areas. This would therefore reduce travel time. Modern stores would also be designed and integrated with pleasant surroundings, including landscaping and other aesthetically pleasing amenities. The project began in 1973 and was completed by 1975. The key elements of the plan were outlined in the pamphlet for the mall. It acquired and redeveloped about 317,000 square feet of land in 18 disposition parcels within the total 850,000 square feet of the core area. Development of 2 parking decks designed to accommodate 1,800 cars. It rehabilitated 22 commercial buildings representing 200,000 square feet of retail space. It constructed a new utility system and service drive for loading convenience. It also completed an improved traffic circulation system connecting the central business district with its trading area, representing more than $11 million in construction costs between 1965 and 1972. The downtown mall concept did help for a while. In the beginning years of the mall, it garnered up to 85% of the capacity. The draw, though, was not sufficient enough, and storefronts began to leave the enclosed area. The city then was liable for the upkeep in the structure. This provided a burden of the city as it was costing them up to $300,000 a year. In the 1990s, the city finally began to look at the option of removing the downtown roof. In 2001, the city began the process of removing the roof. It held a ceremony on August 9th to commemorate the occasion. The roof removal was completed by 2003. Today, Middletown appears to be a ghost of its former past. However, downtown is far from deserted. I had a chance to sit down with city planner Marty Kohler to discuss the lessons learned from the project. He acknowledged that the separation of uses was a problem for the project, discouraging residential development near the area was one of the downfalls of the project. He was also critical in the idea that a mall would save the downtown core. The mall ideas that were used during urban renewal are now on their way out, and areas of mixed use are more sustainable, if not more desirable. We can see that the city has learned that one project will not fix all of its problems. The city now recognizes that it should encourage several smaller projects to try to collaborate together to revitalize this area. One area that is new to downtown is Governor's Square. Governor's Square is located at the corner of Central and Broad, and plays host to many summer concerts as well as the farmers market. 2 years ago, Middletown had a proposed stop on the 3C corridor. In preparation for this stop, Middletown devised a plan to develop the area around the historic train station. Last year, however, the governor, John Kasich, gave back the money to the national government. Meanwhile, the city has worked with the arts to revitalize downtown. Its main attraction is Beau Reardon Stained Glass Studio. It is the oldest in the nation and offers tours of its studio and its gallery. The newest attraction to the arts in downtown is the Pendleton Art Center, which opened its doors on April 1st, 2011. It offers studio space, classes, as well as hosts events for the community. This, alongside with the Middletown Art Center, have gone a long way in trying to change the image of downtown. One of the most exciting projects for the city is the Manchester Inn. Last year, the owner of the Manchester Inn and Conference Center passed away. As of June 2nd, 2011, the Manchester Inn closed its doors. However, the city has plans for the space, as it is in talks with Cincinnati State to reopening the inn alongside with Miami Middletown as a collaborative hands-on student experience. The city is also looking to work with Cincinnati State to rehabbing one of the other buildings in downtown and bring up to 2,000 students into the area. An influx of students would help bring new investment to the area. These projects show that Middletown has some projects that it can build upon. Unlike the urban renewal projects in the 1950s and 60s, Middletown knows that now it must work together with downtown groups to collaborate and create a revitalized downtown that is attractive to everyone.